Okay, my friends, as I said in my last video, I'm going to be talking about a friend of mine, Tyson, who has a fabulous site. We're going to be looking at this in a minute, and I'm going to be explaining some of the West Coast geology all the way up to Alaska and beyond. This is he's doing some fabulous research out there. It's Tyson's Mudfossil Adventures. I've spoken of him often, and I'm going to show you some of the things he has. We're going to go into some chemistry as much as we can to determine the things that were literally, truly biological body parts of creatures, and there is a way to test them, and basically the catalase test, but you really got to know what you're doing. You can't just slap it on there and hope for the best, and we will help you and guide you how to do this. But when you see the geology, the things that he has, as you can see, this, my friend, is what's called a bilipid layer. In us, we have them everywhere in our body. You could hold that up and look through it. Not only is it here, it goes all the way up to there. The thickness of that layer is at least 6 feet or more. Let's take a closer look. Okay, my friends, if you are here, you know about the mud fossils, and you know that these kind of unexplained phenomena I try to explain by biology, and I can quite easily. These layers are nothing more than layers of membranes or tissue of some sort. Some of it might be connective tissue, some of it might be red tissue or even lymph or whatever. Now, this might be a lung, a huge, where these big round cavities, because the lungs have them all over. And some of them are big, some of them are small. Now, and the ones I talked to the Russians about had one huge one open up, and then they said 13 baby craters opened up near that. So it could have been one huge one, and then 13 other ones popped up in the area. And I talked to them back in 2014 about their sinkhole problems, and there's not much you can do about it. Now, this sunk. Now, this one here, same situation. You see, this is a membrane. I think this is probably the fluid-filled highway. Now, down here they're talking about there's gas bubbles are visible in the water. Apparently it's bubbling out from somewhere, which is biodegrading. You know, things degrade. When they degrade, something gives off and bubbles quite often. All right, here's where it is located, and here's what it does. Now, I'm going to show you some more detail about this as good as I can get, but this has been burning for 50 years, I think, since 1970, something like that. And I understand it. This is a membrane. This is membrane, and this is where you have all your, well, not all, but you have a lot of biological activity right on that seam, which releases the gases, which are the decomposition gases, which are hydrocarbons, and they start burning. And I'm going to show you some biological detail here that I think is convincing. So let's get started. This is the one I talked to him about. These just gigantic sinkholes that started appearing overnight, and there was like 13 of them popped up very shortly thereafter. They're saying cash-strapped Russian scientists. I don't know what that's all about, but this was the Russian scientists setting out to study a gigantic crater appeared in Siberia last year. Now, this is 2015. It was 2014, and they had to hitch a ride due to academic budget cuts, due to our modest budgets. What are they talking about budgets? I was talking about sinkholes. But that's the ones I was talking to him about. And I told him, he said, well, what can we do? Is there anything we can do? I said, no. Even if you start pumping oil, you know, it's already at a point where they're going to collapse. They're missing all that fluid. And then you get these gas bubbles in there, and the gas bubbles are the methane bubbling up, and there's nothing to support the surface. It's getting weak, and pow! Look at it. It just laid right back like this. Yamini, that's what it was, Yamini Peninsula. And they were very nice. I talked to the guy, and he was, he could speak English fine. And I told him, and I don't know if he thought I was crazy or not, because I don't think I told him that they were, blood vessels and so forth. They were biological. I think I just told him that there's, it's going to collapse. There's nothing you can do. And the fluids in there are bodily fluids that have turned into volatiles, fossil fuels. And once they pump them out, there's nothing supporting. It's like having no foundation under your house, and you just go straight down. And especially now everything's thawing out, collapse city. You see this, they call it the gates of hell, perpetual burning sinkhole for 50 years. They're going to burn literally forever, because as the gases and oils of the body fluids of these creatures, and they are creatures, the whole earth is nothing but creatures, these digestive systems and so forth, just fester and fester and fester, and they give off these gases. The same like when you fart. You could start it with, we used to hold a lighter under there, and you see flames come out. And that's what you got. This is nothing more than the same thing. Only it's a digestive system of some gigantic creature. And you have a whole batch of these sinkholes all over the place. And it could be lungs. It could be the digestive system. It could be whatever it is. But it's probably lungs, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, it's some kind of biology. And every one of those continues to feed out the gases, and once they start on fire, boy, I don't know how you put it out. All right, this is from a channel called How to Survive, and it's what the hell, this hellish crater been on fire for almost 50 years. Let's take a look at it. We could learn something from this. Who knows? Let's watch. Now, I got the sound turned off. You see all that stuff burning? That right there that was right down the end of the layer. Hold on, that's a membrane. Whoops. Let me get back here where I can see the membrane. There it is right there. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. You see it? That's the membrane right there. That's the membrane. That is exactly where I show the catalase reaction happening. It's not just happening there for no reason. That is the membrane that separates this from the whatever is down below. Now, I'd have to see this up close and personal to see what actually this is all made of. Just tell you what kind of a body part it was. But I got a feeling, I don't know, I can almost see something here on the edge, but that's all splatter, I don't know. But I can tell you what, that right there is where the membrane is, and the membrane has a fluid-filled highway, and that fluids are what burns. So that's what's coming out of that fluid-filled highway. When I put catalase into something, it foams up like crazy right in that exact same spot. It's just a crazy world. Okay, this is just out of control crazy. Listen to this now. In 1971, a group of Soviet geologists went to search for oil. They came across the crater and decided it was a good place to drill for oil. They figured, well, they're already down 50 feet or whatever. Shortly after they started, the crater collapsed and began emitting dangerous gases. All right, now, to stop the gas, the geologists came up with a brilliant idea. Set it on fire. And that was in 1971. The geologists suspected all the natural gas would burn off in a few weeks' time. That was 50 years ago. Now look at this. That right there is an artery. All right, that's an artery. I'm going to tell you that right now. You see that? That's an artery coming out of there. And you see the layering here? There's some stuff we can take away from this and understand. That's an artery coming out of there. All And that's why it's burning up so much. And over there, I believe, could be where the vein is, where the black blood is, but normally, well, it could be over there too. Normally there's a black one and the red one just burns out and keeps spewing out more and more of this burning stuff. That's what arteries do. If I was, well, there's no way you're going to put this out. They are screwed. There's no way that's going out. But that one way up there, I think could be the vein. Right there, that spot, right? Yeah, I think that's it right there. I would go with the vein being right there. Right there. And then we move over to the artery. They're almost always next to each other. And here's the artery. And that's in this 50-year-old burning sinkhole. Okay, so we went from dipole electron flood theory to mud fossils to burning sinkholes. As I say, nothing stands by itself. You can't just talk about one thing and then there's nothing else. You got to sort of blend the whole mix together. I like mixing things together because they all fit together. If you're thinking correctly, everything should fit together. All right? And my mud fossils, I'm telling you right now, this is no joke, my friends. This is all real, and so is this. And it's time to be able to open your voice and your mind and have your voice heard. Otherwise, it's just nonsense, and that's basically what it's been. So, I don't know if you can do anything to get anybody to pay attention. It's time people just start talking. That's all. Just start talking. Say, no, this is real. Don't let them push you around. Because I know Christmas is coming up. I can see the conversations right now. People don't like it. I just had somebody said to me, he says, yeah, you were right. I shouldn't have brought it up at Thanksgiving. It could start trouble. It's too much for a lot of people's minds to accept this, never mind giants and dragons and everything else and all these myths that are, sort of factually true. We start looking at these things for what they really are. It's a mind blower. All right, so thanks for watching. We'll talk later. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye. All right, you got to really think about this. It's a disaster. You ever hear the word, it's a gusher, when they hit a oil well and it just spew out? They'd have to cap it and just spew out forever. Well, there's pressure in the earth. There was a lot of pressure in the earth from all of the gases and the volatiles and keeping the surface supported. Now these sinkholes are popping up literally everywhere around the earth, and certainly where they're pumping oil and gas, and that's all they can talk about. Oh, no, we're going to pump. Well, this is what you're going to pump. This is what you're going to end up with. Nothing will be stable. A guy fell through his floor in Florida from a sinkhole. Nobody ever found him. This is not good. This is disaster, and it's the Earth is basically like a balloon, and its surface is what was holding all these gases in, and we've tapped all that stuff, and now the whole thing is collapsing. And there's a lot of other problems too, but that's enough for today. Okay, I showed you Tyson's spot. He's over on the west coast in Oregon. Now, I am going to twist the Earth a little bit and show you this creature that runs all the way up the coast. That's my take on it. Now, I'm not sure Tyson has the same take, but I'm going to show you what I'm thinking. All right, I'm just going to lay it right on you. I believe this is Scorpzilla, and this is his head, and you see all the very green. I think it was a feathered serpent, because I know it was has a cloaca, which means it's a reptile or a bird. And it goes all the way up here, and it has a scorpion pincher on the end, and I will show you that. It comes all the way up the coast. Now, Tyson is somewhere on the west coast here somewhere. But as far as I'm concerned, this is his head. There's an eyeball right here. I'm going to show you this. Lake Crowley is right over here. It has a huge white columns that is, I'm sure, is his beard. They all had a beard. And then it comes up here, I believe that's the shoulder. It comes all the way up to Alaska. And then up in Alaska, there's a mountain that is the anus. And it's a volcano because it goes off and, you know, poops every now and then. And I will show you it. And the name of it is going to, it blew my mind. Might blow your mind, who knows, we'll see. All right, take your time. Take your time, because this is a freak show, no question about it. This right here, I am saying, is Scorpzilla's eye. This is his head. It comes all the way down here, around, and all the way back, and his neck, and it all runs all the way up the coast. The green grows where there's some kind of nutrition. Now, whether it was feathers or whether it was blood, I don't know. But we're going to come in and look at this eye very closely, and I'm going to show you the optic nerve. I'm not kidding you. This is the pupil. So let's see. This is the whole eye. Now, we're going to look down in here, and this is going to freak you out. So this is the eyeball. All right, here's his eyebrow above it. You see? Here's his eyebrow above his eye. All right, so here's his eye. Eyebrow above. Back here is the optic nerve. Now, I've studied the optic nerve for a bunch of other reasons, but as it comes back, you see it? These are all these nerve fibers. This is the optic nerve right in here. Let me find the best shot for you. Hold on. All right, watch this now. Here we come back from the eye. And all that green stuff means there's some kind of biology that was feeding it with blood or whatever. Right at the tip of this, right here, is all the nerve fibers. This led to the optic nerve. You see all these? You think that's natural? I mean, it should, you know, look at it. These are all the things that are coming into the optic nerve. Now, it's just a ball of nerves and signal pathways. But you see it out here? Look at this. That is all right, this whole area, I believe, and I found other ones that are the same sort of thing, services the eyeball and deals with all of the signals. So now, here's his eyeball. Over here is Crowley Lake, which is nothing more than a whole batch of these white columns, huge things, which I believe is his beard. Now, going up the east coast, I mean the west coast here, all the way up, this is his shoulder going up over here. Now, Tyson's up in here somewhere, I don't know where, but the ocean washes the stuff away, washes it away, and that's all the stuff I'm showing you. There's the huge membrane and all that stuff. He's got stuff that's just staggeringly large. So he comes all the way up here, 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 into Alaska. Okay, so here's his head, comes up here, up here, up here. So he's got to have an anus. And he does. And it's right over in this area here somewhere. Hold on, I will find it. It's right over here. All right, and it dumps into Cook Inlet. This take a while to settle in here. Hold on, let me get it set up. All right, here's what it looks like to me. Originally, this was his body shape out here, and this just got basically washed away mostly. But his anus is right over here. All right, his rectum. Now this goes all the way out and makes the Scorpzilla. Let's look at the Scorpzilla first, and then I'll show you where he pooped. And there's a shocker du jour about the pooper. Now, this is a pin. This is an injector. I mean, if you can't see that, I don't know. And it squirted out here when it died, apparently. That's what I'm taking from this. All right, you see this squirt coming out like that? Now, how would this thing inject? And can I show you something to make it pretty obvious it is an injector? Because right now, you can't inject. There's nothing. The guy's going to be over here. You can't inject him. This has to retract. And look at what it retract into. You see this stuff here? That's made to retract and go in there. So this would come back, just swish, like this, into that pocket. So it would probably be sticking out somewhere like this. And a pin would be out here, and it snap right into it and kill somebody with its squirt stuff. Now, this is his tail, and like I said, I believe the body was up here, so his anus was over in here, and it's right there. So we're going to go in and look at it. Now you can see the different colors. The different colors like that indicates a digestive system. All of those different colors are enzymes. And in the enzymes of your body, your digestive system and all the different glands and all that stuff, you have all these different colors because you've got different chemistry going on. And at the very end, you have your rectum. Now, in a avian creature, which is a bird or a reptile, they have a cloaca. Now let me show you, and it's right here. It's extremely obvious, and there's more to it than that. All right, this is Anchorage, Alaska, is right over here. This is Cook Inlet. These are the colors. Remember I told you that's a digestive system, and it's really, it's got a lot of digestive action going on, because I've looked at it very carefully because I have a vested interest in this particular space. You see all these different color things? Those are all different enzymes. And it ends up, after your digestive system, this is right here, is the rectum. And this side here is where the fluids come out. Because a cloaca means you have an anus, basically, and then you have your fluids. This right here, you see this? You see that dot there? And this one over here? You know what that is? That's the pincher to pinch off that duct. So that it's just like you have some way to pinch it off so you don't pee in your pants. That's what this thing does. It's a pincher. And you see over here? It probably absorbs stuff back, or it might be injecting stuff in, I'm not sure. And then this is also some kind of chemistry, some kind of a gland. It looks like it's coming into it or coming out, I don't know. But it's, this is a pincher to pinch it off. This is some kind of biology that's either coming in or going out, because you absorb a lot of fluids back right at the very end of your digestive system. This is literally poop. You see these colors? And this is every time it poops, it does one of these. Now, I think it must be doing that without actually exploding, because this is a very explosive volcano, and I know this volcano extremely well. And if you go back through the volcano all the way up here, I mean, this poop, and it's literally poop. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And it's coming down here, coming down here, coming down here. Well, where did it come from? It came from down here, came from down here. Some came into here. Some came into here. They're all coming from, but this is the main spot here. This is a volcano, and it's a very eruptive volcano. And the name of this volcano is Mount Spur. I'm not kidding you, Mount Spur. And here's me pooping right there. It comes right out of here. Right up in here. I believe it's right over here. It's hard, this thing doesn't pan out well, but it's right up in this area. it's not pooping right now, so. But you see how it comes down. And the two meet together and then dump right into the Cook Inlet. That's what a digestive system does. And this is the key for me. When I saw that, I knew what it was. And then, of course, the colors. There's no way to deny this. And when you start looking at the digestive system up in here, because this whole thing is a digestive system. It's not just one little spot. There's so much biology going on. Let me grab a couple of quick shots. Up in this area particularly, it's amazing. You see this? This is the kind of, when you see these different colors and coming together here and there and different, this is all biology. And I was watching a show today with this young guy, and he goes out on site looking at this stuff. He's at the Colorado River, and it's got a very, very bright blue, and then it just turns brown instantly. It's the confluence of the Colorado River, the brown and the blue. And he does a nice job. He gets right out there, but I think he thinks I'm crazy. He's responded. He's always asked, what do you think about this? What do you think of? And I keep commenting, and I know people have even emailed him, and I did email him myself. And, as you see, I'm showing things that are kind of on the outside of what you'd normally consider normal. But it's true. If it's true, it's true. And it's true. Nobody can stand up and deny this. It's just now a stone wall of them afraid to speak. And that never really stopped me. And I'm telling you, this is not easy to do. And because you're going to get pushed back. I understand that. But that's just part of life as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I don't know if this is the end or the beginning. I got interrupted a bunch of times, so there'll be either some more or this is the end. All right? Thanks. And everybody's been here with me for any amount of time at all knows about Quetzalcoatl, and he's the dragon on the East Coast, the feathered serpent. And again, all the green is from runoff of his body. And these are his feathers. And they are feathers. And I can show you their feathers. You want to see a feather? There's a couple really good ones right up here that I show a lot. Let me see if I can find them. Here they are right there. They're all over the place here, but these are the good ones. Takes a while to settle in. Now, why did they do this? That's a feather right there. You see it? There's another one here, another one here, another one there. This is his headdress. It comes up. And where it's real green is feather meal. Feathers make things grow green. They love feathers. That's why they made the Green Mountains. Watch this. This is his head. It must be a little more scaly and doesn't have as much edible stuff in it. Because that's what they're doing. They're eating the blood and the feathers. A lot of nitrogen. Now, this comes all the way up around. You see it? This is his head. These are his beards. You see the beard here and the beard here? And it comes up around. That's his snaky neck. But he's big. He's fluffy. And it's all feathers. And this is his whole body. It comes all the way down here. You see that? That's the separation zone. And it goes all the way up the East Coast. And these are still his feathers right here. And that's why they're so green, the Green Mountains. You see them? Some more feathers. And that's why all that green stuff is from the feather meal. And it runs quite a ways up here. I'm not sure where it stops. It might be up here in Canada somewhere. But he's all the way up the East Coast. So we got Scorpzilla, We got Quetzalcoatl, and of course you know about Typhon over here killing the fish. There's Typhon right over here. He runs all across North Africa, and he's killing this gigantic fish, which was one of the gods. In the ancient text, it says Typhon was the offspring of Gaia, which is Earth, and Tartarus, and she had him to be the avenger to kill the gods, and he attacked the gods, and apparently he got this one. They turned themselves into animals when he came after them, and gushing fire from his fire-breathing mouth, which is right here, all over the back of this fish. See the fish? That's his tail. That's his fin. And there's Typhon spitting his evil nastiness on top of that fish. And there's his red flared eye. They talk about that. There's his stringed, hairy, unkempt hair all over his head. They talk about that. Here's his throat. Runs all the way down. And these are dragon scales. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. All the way down, all the way down. And Zeus cut his throat with his great and mighty sword. And there's the red and black blood running all out in the desert from where his throat was cut by Zeus. And this is all just bodily runoff of fluids. Over here is all his dragon-scaled throat. You see it? You see that? Those are all dragon scales. And they're all hinged. You see there's like a little cleave between each one of them, so you get, you know, the little chunks. You see them? Black, 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 black. That's way there he can twist his neck. Otherwise he'd just be one rigid mass of dragon-scaled throat. And this was cut across by Zeus. Again, all written in the text, exactly is, this is exactly the creature. His tail runs all the way out to here. And again, he had feathers on his tail. And if you come in here, you can look and you can see the feathers. But that's why it's green out here. Same, green is from feathers. I suppose I could come in a little bit quick. You can see them if you look. This has taken exceptionally long time today to focus in for some reason. I don't know why. Usually it's a lot quicker than this. But you see, these are feathers too. And it's just taken a while. Anyway, and that's why they're growing the green stuff here. Now, and you can see anyway, right back here is just the dragon scales of his tail. And the bloody runoff from, it scoops down like that, and the blood is puddled here and is running off. You see it? Now he has also a cloaca, or she, or whatever it is. And that's back here, watch now. You see the body? The head is here, it comes back, the body's huge. And right there is the cloaca, exactly where you expect it to be, and I'll show it to you. And there are people living there because there's plenty of fertile soil there. It's right here. You get a chance to settle in, here it goes. Now, this has the exact same thing. It's got the anus and it's got the fluid. All right, the fluid is coming down this way. The anus is coming down this way. This is where all the poop is, and this is the good stuff. All right, and that's why they're living here. And this is where it normally would have come out. All right, and that's why it's fertile here. All right, now over here is where the urinary tract is coming down. And that's a little more acidic probably and not as fertile, and that comes out over here. But right next to it, you see this one, and then you see this one. And they come down together and discharge wherever they discharge into. And it runs off into the desert. But this is where, you know, this is the poop duct here. All right. So you got two spots coming out. And, you know, I found other ones too, and they're in the most unbelievable places you could ever imagine. Unbelievable. I mean, just this is what the world is a corpse. You know, it's corpses. You know, it apparently was a corpse of some sort in its entirety, Gaia, apparently. And all of these creatures were eventually on top of Gaia, and inside Gaia, the Titans were entombed in her for a while. All of that stuff is written, and if you can see what I just showed you and just disregard everything, say, oh, that all is nonsense. After seeing what I just showed you, you know, I don't know how you can ever be realistic about what you see. Because, you know, the membranes, everything. I mean, it's just everything. Very, very hard to dismiss this if you really want truth. Okay, this one I saw today. This is the Colorado River, and it's just as blue can be, and then bang, it hits this brown spot. And here he is right here. A nice guy, but he probably thinks I'm crazy. Don't be here when it changes. Well, he's talking about floods and so forth. But this is an abrupt change in color. It's absolutely amazing. Where'd it go?
Melted.
Whoops. All right, this is the POV channel, and he's a nice young guy, and he's all trying to understand what he's seeing, but I don't think he's ready to grasp the gravity of what we're talking about. This is the confluence of two different chemistries, and and again, POV channel, and here's what he's got to say.
Of the Colorado mixing with the bright blue water of the Little Colorado. And the line you see is where the two water sources mix.
Because that's biology, my friend.
George Mancuso was a respected Grand Canyon photographer who literally dedicated his life to the art of photographing the world's greatest of the 7 natural wonders. And here, where I am standing, is the place where his body came to its final rest, at the confluence of the Colorado River and the Little Colorado River. They found his body buried in the sand with his feet sticking up into the air.
All right, I'm going to jump ahead. Here we go. This is...
Anything you can imagine that water can carry in it, it will carry in a flash flood. I am here in the fall season when there's usually very little rainfall. I met a guide out in Utah once who had been...
Hold on, I got to find where he's walking across the river. Okay, so here he is, and I'd love to have him check out a couple of things for me, but I don't know if he's going to be around much longer the way he's acting. The guy's a little out of control.
This part of the canyon are just immense. Pretty sick.
They're all tenders. Look at what he does. Just goes walking out on there. Not a good thing to do there, my young friend. Now, as he goes across this river, look at him. Absolutely insane. Now, when he goes across this river, you can see these stumps sticking up with the red blobs on them all across here. Now, this is all tissue. What it was, I don't know, but it's some kind of an organ.
I have no idea what this thing is. Oh, I want to jump in so bad. I don't think it's deep enough, though.
No, I wouldn't do it, my friend.
What a place. I had no idea it was going to be this cool.
Now, when he goes walking across, I'll show you something.
We are approaching
Look at that.
the confluence. Yeah, baby. sublime. That's the word I'm looking for.
Look at all these layers. That's nothing but tissues. And then he comes to the confluence. All right, watch this. He's going to be walking across here, okay? These things, this is all biology. And he gets to this point over here in a second. This is all biology. You see these? Hold on a second. You see these with the red spots on the top of them? This is, there's some kind of, it's some kind of organ that has like little feeler type things that come down into it. But you can see them all over the place. And so this was some kind of a biological layer that filtered something out or put something into the body. This is all biology. It's all biology. And I believe this is probably the area that has started to infuse that blueness in there. I don't know. But this is all layers of tissue. I know it's just over the top insane. But truth is truth. Okay, my friends, that's it for today. I got to get back to Tyson. We're going to be trying to figure out some chemistry tests and so forth, and the catalase, and you know, Tyson's doing a good job. I'm very impressed with his tenaciousness. He's been doing this for several years now with me, and most people don't last too long. So he's doing a great job. He's got a drone. He's got the microscope. He's going into the chemistry. He learns what all of the geologists say. I had to too. You have to know what they're saying to say, no, that's not it. Here's what it is, and here's why this is not what you're saying it is. They can't. If you can't look at something like this and understand what you're seeing, you know, and just say, oh, it just looks like that because it just looks like that. Well, no, it doesn't look like that. It looks like that because it is that. It's just a little bit bigger. So anyway, we're going to just keep continuing on. We ain't going to let this thing rest. And Tyson, if I was the University of Oregon, I would say we are going to look into this because we are a university that tells the truth. And they should get a hold of Tyson, give him a little, he probably can use a little extra kick on this, you know, a little money to do this. This is expensive, not expensive, but, you know, he's just to go out to look at this stuff. He's got a 30-mile drive or something. It costs him like $10, $15 just to get out there and back. And then, you know, we're not rich people. We're just doing something that excites us. So anyway, Merry Christmas again and again and again. All right, I love you. Take care.